Please.
Like,
Alright.
oh,
Oh,
there
wow,
we
that's
go.
really synced. Alright. So, the
Top
first
tier
thing that y'all are going
reflexes.
to see is when we're loading into King's Pass, the players are going to pause and unpause, and then open their inventory to drop in midair. And you pause and unpause to gain control back of your character, and then if you open the inventory, which is the select button, you get uncapped fall speed, and normally there's a big landing lag when you land from super high distances. And if you open and close inventory as you're falling, then it gets rid of that. So we will see stuff like that used in a bunch of different places. Inventory dropping more so than the pause to gain control. But
Yeah, the pause to 8
yeah,
control is very rarely used. There's only one other spot it's used in.
what are you doing, Trinomi? Are
Is
you
he actually
doing?
gonna do an NMG crumble skip?
Please.
This is actually slower strat, it just looks really cool.
That looks just as fast, actually. What the heck? That was so swaggy.
That's actually so cool. I can't believe he
That's
actually went
awesome.
for it and got it.
Alright, no, that is definitely slower. Like, a 53 is not normally what you'd expect. Normally, you'd like to get out of there at a 51 or 52. But
He
that
also fell on one
is...
platform, I think, though.
Oh, did he? Yeah, he did.
I'm not sure, but I think he did, yeah.
Oh, I do remember that now. That's awesome. Alright, so what you see both runners doing right now is jumping while walking. This is only because they're in dirt mouth right now. And I think it's every time you're in dirt mouth, the game really wants you to slow down and take in the scenery, so it forces you to a walking speed while you're on the ground. So if you just jump while you're walking, you don't encounter the forced slowdown. So this is the only spot that they'll be doing that. It's not a common thing. Look at this timer sync. Like, that is literally perfect.
Yeah, that's actually... We play this game in a loadless timer because the load times are heavily inconsistent. And the fact that the runners are actually dissynced right now is kind of rare,
It's
honestly.
really cool. Like, they were like synced to 1,000th of a second. That's awesome. All right. Now we'll see both
Both runners
runners go
here going for
into...
double spike. Never mind.
Ooh,
Trinomi doesn't go for double spike, Cow does and gets it.
nice. That's awesome. So that's like 2 seconds for Cow. It's a double spike is a fairly new trick. It's pretty hard. Like, it is deceptively difficult. But yeah, Cow made it look really good. I'm impressed.
Back in my day, we pogoed the aspects and we flamed next to you for trying to get it.
We can still do this.
I mean, we
We
kind
can
of...
absolutely still do this. Just because Axe is now confirmed to be fast does not mean that we won't flame him. Come on.
Hey, no bin, no did. I stand by this.
That's all I'm saying, you know? Alright.
Oh,
Ooh,
right here,
nice.
another weird room. This room is a bit awkward because what you ideally want to do is pogo a background object right there to get on top of the platform. It's kinda precise, but both runners get it.
Yep. And a lot of the stuff in this first area, which is, what is this area? Forgotten Crossroads? Yeah, I know names. Most of the things in Forgotten Crossroads are very, very standard. There's not a lot that you can do to speed up, so a lot of the time saves that we found are stuff like Double Spike, the, what we call the pogo in the background object, Statue Pogo. It's a lot of stuff like that where it's mechanically kind of difficult and finicky stuff that saves maybe a quarter of a second. Double Spike saves more, but it's not that bad.
Honestly, as long as we're still doing this basic movement of just walking, there is very little you can do to optimize unless you're next to you and you actually just are crazy at menial movement, I guess.
This is true. And we
Right
just
here,
saw
Trinomi
Trinomi.
got...
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
Trinomi
go.
got good False Knight RNG. False Knight is the first boss that you saw. You can do an intended escape, intended by the devs to just not have to kill him. You can just exit like that. But Trinomi getting good RNG, which means that the False Knight jumped over him, means he saved like a second over Cow, whose False Knight just ran away from him.
Yeah. There's two pretty okay patterns, one where he jumps to the left and one where he just, like, doesn't move at all. Those are what you really want, and Cow got the worst one, where he just completely jumps to the right side. Alright, it looked like a 338-ish VS for Trinomi and a 336 for Cow, so we're still really consistent at about a 2-second difference.
Yeah.
It's difficult to tell because the timer didn't pause and I didn't look when they entered the room, but
Yeah,
it's about
I
two
think I
seconds.
saw 1 second, but yeah, it's pretty much
Okay,
the same.
that's pretty
Honestly,
good.
really close race so far. I didn't really expect a huge difference in Crossroads, but it's still pretty close.
Wait, did Trinomi just...
He did Trinomi planks. It's his
What?
name, he has to do it.
I didn't know that was a thing. Alright, I need to do this.
You just hit the planks like really far away, like you will do on the King's Pass door, and you just don't get knockback, so it just works out
Huh.
beautifully.
Guy's a beast. What the heck? That looks really good, actually. I want to do this.
Now, Trinomi at 2 health on Mount. This is really rare. Mount is not really an area you want to take damage on. And
Yeah.
right here we're seeing the big Baldur, which is essentially one of the biggest points of RNG in the first 5 minutes of the game. You basically just need him to spit an enemy at you, so you can actually use the Fireball, which is the spell we just got. We kind of skimmed over that, but you've seen them shoot some kind of white thing at the big enemy back there. Those things cost soul, which is the game's mana, and every time you get a hit in with your nail, with your melee weapon, you get 1 soul. A fireball costs 3, you can hold a maximum of 9 soul at any point in time. So what you want to do there for the Baldur is just you pray that he shoots an enemy as fast as possible because it's a 50-50, and then you get the final fireball that you want to kill him.
Yep. And normally it requires 4 fireballs to kill the Baldur, but with this one specifically, because we can actually go off screen. Ooh, Trinomi, you've done this.
Trinomi shot the fireball the wrong way, and then that kind of messed up with the setup.
Yeah. But normally what you can do there is shoot the fireball from off screen, and the hitbox just kind of lingers at the edge of the screen, so it just gets a bunch of hits on the Baldur, so you can kill him only in 1 cast of Vengeful Spirit, which is very, very nice, because relying on RNG to get what we call Baldur Spits, to get soul, is very, very annoying. It is not fun. Alright,
Trinomi's
so...
at 3 HP again, and the lead widened to 10 seconds just on that split.
He
It's a bit of a
is
rough
3
start for him.
Will we see a death? Doubtful. But
I
right
don't
now,
think so.
yeah. Right now, we are in Green Path. And Green Path is a fairly standard split. There's not a ton happening. There's
Oh.
mainly fireball skips, which Trinomi is showing up the backup for.
A fireball skip is essentially just when you use the fireball, your full speed gets reset, and you also get a bit of knockback. So you can use both the knockback and the full speed reset to make jumps that would otherwise be impossible to just skip a pretty large portion of Green Path, to be honest.
Yeah. Like the fireball skip that... honestly, I'm not even gonna talk. Let's just see Trinomi. Okay.
Trinomi's rusty, bro.
Ooh, the bathroom, it still got him, you know? It still got him
It
in
really
armor.
did. He put too much effort into the shower and not into the fireballs.
This is true.
He's not doing BK. BK is... He's at 1 HP again. This is really scary.
Is it 1
Essentially,
HP?
you're seeing the runners right now. Cow has 145 Geo. Trinomi has 48. No, 98, I mean. What we're doing right now is that we're collecting the game's currency, which is the Geo, to buy a charm. And there's 2 ways of doing this. The first one is to just get some Geo rocks here, which are very easy. While the second one is to kill this boss that we just saw Cow kill. The boss gives more Geo and it's also faster. So it's usually what you want to do, but it also requires you to fireball at very precise timings, which is something that Trinomi has been messing up right now. So I don't know
Yeah.
how he'll actually fare.
You know, we can hope.
We really can. I just hope he doesn't pull at me, which...
Trinomi?
That was more the setup than the actual fireball.
Yeah.
He still gets the
Alright.
kill, doesn't get damaged. Should be more or less okay, even if this is a slow.
Yeah. Normally, the best way to kill VK, the Geo all basically clumps. You don't have to run and follow it, so... It's more of a big deal that he didn't get the quick kill just because he has to go follow the Geo now, not because it actually took longer. But we just saw Cow killing
Ooh,
Hornet,
that
and
was
now we're going to
close.
see Trinomi going in at the same time. It looked like Cow had a pretty okay fight. Let's see how Trinomi does.
Yeah, it looked okay. Cab also almost got a soft lock there, where Hornet just got stuck on the wall, but thankfully he didn't, so...
Yeah, if you kill Hornet very close to that right side of the gate, and she just jumps up there when she gets staggered, she can sometimes just not come down, and then you need Hornet to leave to give you the item that we need, which is Moth and Cloak, the dash ability, and it's very sad, there's not a lot you can do about it.
But yeah, Hornet, a very annoying boss. She jumps around a lot, and jumps are pretty bad because since she's the one who gives us dash, we don't have dash right now, so chasing her around is annoying.
However, now that we
Trinomi
have dash, movement is going to be a lot more fun.
Yeah.
So
You see Cow right now, just I'm using dash. you can essentially just want to spam dash when it's off cooldown, unlike in other games where you want to time them. There's some other places where you do want to time dashes, but most of the movement is just spamming it. There
Mhm.
isn't much movement tech in that sense in Hollow Knight. You can't really cancel dashes or anything. You just really want to do dash whenever you can, and sometimes in precise spots for the cooldown to work out, basically.
Yep.
Fungal Wastes, which is the place where Kao is right now, or Trinomi is sitting, isn't really. I don't want to say it's a very hard split. This is a very technical one because all you want to do is precise movement. I think there's like literally no RNG in this split, as far as I know, at least.
I can't think of any.
I
There's
also can't think of any. It's just
I don't know. The first
very
fungal drop is
precise.
RNG. Changed my mind.
Uh, I mean, it's hard enough to be RNG if that's what you mean.
Oh, cow
And
messed
right
up.
here,
Explosion
yeah,
pogo.
you see
That was a
Cow,
lot of
he's
effect.
baiting this explosion spore, this Sporg, to do pretty much that, except better, basically. He's trying to get enough height with two pogos to just escape this across this entrance. Normally you will need wall jump or double jump to actually make this. But with the two
There we
pogos
go.
you can just go and it skips a large part of fungal. It's like 40 seconds.
hmm Sadly, that skip is no longer realistically possible on current patch. It was recently changed so that pogoing the Sporg, I think, just instantly explodes it. And Trinomi is having the same
Trinomi tries
trouble.
to be too cool for
Ooh!
his own good and kind of messes that.
Now we see Cow doing Mantis Pogo, and after a little bit of shakiness, he got it. Trinomi Pogo. Alright. So Trinomi did
Finally
another
makes it.
setup, which works just as well, but the trick is finicky. Again, like we said, this split is very technical. It's very easy to mess up. Like,
Oh, Trinomi gets a very clean Mantis Pogo, where you just pogo the two enemies to get up here instead of having to go around.
mhm.
He
I
saves
think
a bit of
that's
time
one
on
of, if not
counter,
the
but
fastest versions of it.
yeah, I think that's the fastest version I know, at least.
Okay.
We should
Alright.
probably switch audio to Kao because he's pretty convincingly ahead right now. It's like
This is also true.
30 seconds or so.
I have switched the audio. Alright. So now we see Cow, and he is going to be running to open up a stag station and fight Gruz Mother. To anyone that knows this game that doesn't know the route, they're probably like, why are you going this way? What is over here? Well, number one, Shaman Stone is this way, and Shaman Stone is unequivocally the best charm in the game. You cannot change my mind on this.
Hey, Dash
And,
Master exists.
but Shaman Stone, you just overcharm. Just come on. You can't ask me to
This makes
choose
sense.
between
You
these
just
two.
don't choose. This
You
makes
can't ask
sense.
me to choose between those two. Oh no. Oh no. But yeah, we saw Cow open the Crossroads Stag Station, and we will be using that later to return to when we need to buy Crystal Heart, which we do fully need to finish the game, so that is needed. It's not just something we're doing for convenience. And we will see Cow kill Druz Mother, and ooh, that's some cool, that's some good
That was
pogos. I like that.
clean, yeah. He identified Grass Mother going up immediately, and he started pogoing.
Yeah,
That was
it's
honestly
a
really clean
very,
by
very
Kao.
good direction. I'm impressed. I'm really bad at that still, so
Same.
it's a
And right now,
discipline.
Kao is gonna try to kill some small grasses here. Like that. It was a good first fireball, he messed up the second one kinda. This is a very annoying part because it's pretty much very RNG how the grassers fly if you mess up the fireballs.
Yeah. Alright, and what we saw Cow just buy was Shaman Stone. This is what gives us most of our damage for this run. It increases the hitbox of Vengeful Spirit, which is the only spell that we will be getting, so it's all of our damage. And it increases its damage by 25%, so from 15 to 20. And for reference, our nail only does
33 actually.
5 damage, so it
15 to
is...
20 is 33 though.
Oh, never mind, 33%. I can't do math. I had fun yesterday.
But
Alright.
yeah, essentially our nail right now does 5 damage and we're never gonna upgrade it. So being able to do 20 damage with a spell is kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
And spells are
especially when
definitely
that
going to
spell can hit
be...
multiple times, so...
Yeah, so spells are gonna be definitely our main source of damage in this run. Cow
Uh,
gets screwed here a bit by a Shade
Ooh.
Fireball and it fucks with the setup. Yeah, I kinda expected that.
remember
Essentially,
actually...
there's RNG to the Shade, she does. If you're on the same X-axis as her, and wait a bit.
What?
The Shade can just decide to fireball you, like it did for both Cow and Trinomi. Trinomi manages to back it up though. And then stuff can get messy basically.
Yeah.
Cow is still ahead though, even if he had to take more time to actually back up his Shade skip.
Yeah. It looked like 13, 15 seconds, something like that. So
Chat says 16.
16? This sounds
Yeah, this is
acceptable.
information with chat.
I will believe this. But yeah,
And that's
right
because
now,
kinda skips a whole bunch of the game essentially.
yeah.
Because we're immediately going to get the Dream Meal, which is a very required item basically. You literally cannot finish the game with a Dream Meal in any category, including glitches.
Hmm.
And after we have Dream Meal, we're just going to go into City of Tears from the right side. Because the left side of City of Tears isn't really useful to us in this category, I wanna say.
Yeah.
And if you enter from the left side, you cannot access the right side. Well, if you enter from the right side, you can access the left side. So it just works out really well, essentially.
Yeah. This is the huge divergence from the casual route that most people will go through. Most people will do exactly what we did in the early game, albeit a lot slower. But then they will go through to left side of city. But by us going through right side, we skip a lot of content that we don't need to play through. And it's very, very good. And the shade skip that we did to get there is really, really easy as well. So it's just it's a very good trick. It looks cool, easy to do, skips a lot of stuff. It's probably my favorite, just because of how good it is.
That's a pretty good trick. It's also very consistent when you don't get fireballed.
Yeah, this is true.
But yeah, right here you're gonna see another instance of the pause we had at the start. We're just gonna pause to gain control and we're gonna skip a small little cutscene here, a wake up cutscene. Assuming the runners get it. You just pause, mash right, and then you exit this place as still in the cutscene sleeping. Oh, Cow gets the good dash there.
Yeah,
That's kinda precise to be honest.
it really is. Yeah, there's a dash there that you can do before you hit the ground when you're moving super, super fast. If you dash at the right time, you can save like a grand total of 0.2 seconds. It's really pretty difficult, but it's really cool to do. So it's always worth doing. You don't lose any time for trying it, so... Alright, and now we're gonna see
worth
Cow and
noting
Trinomi go
that
This is
City is
fun.
one of the worst splits to be honest.
Yeah.
It has essentially we won't. Right now we're still in Geo collection mode because we're gonna have to buy a couple more things. First of all, we wanna buy the lantern to actually access crystal pigs without the dive skill. There's a toll that you cannot access with, interact with otherwise, so we do need the lantern. And then we also need Geo for both the toll and the final stack when we finish the game. So we want a fair amount of Geo here in City, and the enemies can be very annoying.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
Courage.
suck.
The name of the currency is Geo, also known as Geo.
Yeah. Alright, and it looks like both people are about 60-ish Geo, so they will be having to kill people in the Spire, which is fine. Basically what you do here is, if the enemies back in that room were just in bad spots, you skip them and move on, because they're just... they can be absolutely terrible. We're just going through a bunch more Geo collection by getting relics, which we'll be selling after Watcher Nights to Lem for obscene amounts of money. Trinomi, don't fall there. That really sucks.
Unfortunate. At least he didn't fall like in the big city that Cow is in right now.
Goodness.
You see
Who
Cow
on
enter
earth would
this
ever do
door.
this?
He's going to kill a big enemy. I'm really gonna call him a boss, but he is a unique enemy. This is the Gorgeous Husk. There is a strat here where you just see him shoot the fireball and it hits 3 times. Like Pest said earlier, Fireball can do this, and it's a really quick way of getting 420 Geo, so it's a pretty worth detour.
Yep. Pretty easy boss, a big source of Geo. It's pretty good. Alright. I think Cow will... he will not be killing these guys. Alright. Interesting.
He's
That's
extremely
fine.
short in Geo now. I mean, I guess he can just kill it in the way out.
Yeah. More than likely what he'll do what Axe does. He will kill the lever guys twice, and if he needs to again, he'll kill 2 of the husks on the way to the station. But there's ways to get Geo. But in a perfect world, you would have about 570 Geo right here, but it's not that bad while you're still in City. You can get a lot of Geo really, really quickly. This is why we get all
Cow
our
is
Geo in here.
getting messed up. He did a skip called lever skip. In this patch, you can actually hit levers through collisions most of the time. But then he got kind of lucky, to be honest, or he messed up his manipulation rather, and the enemies got in his way to actually enter the room, which is
Yeah.
dark because you never actually hit the lever the way the game intends you to. So it's kind of hard to navigate if an enemy is in there with you. Thankfully, he saved it without too much trouble.
Hmm.
And right now, we see both runners entering Witcher Knights. They did a small trick they've intended where you drop a chandelier and that immediately kills one of the bosses. This boss is supposed to be 6 of the same kind, we're only gonna fight 5 due to that. And it's probably one of the points where Trinomi has the biggest chance to catch up because I don't know how good Kao is actually at Witcher Knights, but I know Trinomi is, or at least was, really good.
Yeah, Chaos had a pretty good showing on the first Watcher Night, so I believe. This is by far the hardest part for anyone learning this game. These Watchers are incredibly difficult. They take a ton of practice because there's just so much going on. But
You essentially have to focus on both enemies while still trying to deal optimal amounts of damage,
yeah.
which is way harder than it may first sound like.
They each have 220 HP, so that's 44 nail hits if you didn't have PS, but because we have a 20 damage spell that can potentially hit multiple times if they do good kinds of rolls, we can significantly speed up the fight. This fight would be really, really difficult with no spells. So.
That was a pretty okay dodge by Kao.
Yeah, no, Kaz is impressive. He's some really, really good.
He kills them at 42, so it seems like Trinomi is definitely not gonna be catching up. Trinomi may actually just straight up. Okay, never mind.
Alright, so Trinomi's 20 seconds behind. This is still Umu. This is Umu category, or Umu territory.
Umu is the other big boss that we'll be fighting in this category, and it's a very bad boss. Let's just leave it at that.
It's a very inconsistent boss. No consistency ever, and it's just, it's a bad time. It's a bad time.
It really is.
Alright, but now both Trinomi and Kao are going to slap the pinata known as Larian. All the Dreamers don't really fight back. They're guarded by bosses in front of them for the most part. They're really the challenge you have to go through to get to them. With the exception of Hera, all of them have a boss in front of them, with Watcher Knights for Lurian, and Monomon has Umu, but then Hera does not. She arguably has a harder area, Beastem, but that's a story for a later time.
Dreamers, just in case, I don't think we've actually explained it, are essentially keys. In order to access the last boss, you have to get 3 Dreamers, which are basically all the Dreamers that are on the map. And then the room actually opens and you can enter to fight the final boss.
Yes. It's one of the few bits of lore that we will go through. Forced lore in my games. How dare they?
SMH.
Yeah. But yeah. This is one of the slower parts of the run. This is just the final bit of Geo collection. We are getting the last relic, going to sell that to Lem, and then picking up the Geo from the Watch Knight's chest. So
Yeah. This is essentially a bit of an intermission right now. The runners are just gonna be doing some Geo collecting and shopping like Beth said. The run doesn't actually, let's say, get back in full swing up until we enter Crystal Heart, which is one of the most interesting spots to watch in my opinion.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, while we're talking about Crystal Peaks, I wonder if we're going to see some Pogax.
I sure hope so. Trinomi has to.
I bet Trinomi will. I don't know about Kao. I bet Trinomi will.
I mean, it saves 10 years, dude. If you get it in a race, you immediately win.
Oh yeah, 100%.
For reference, Pogas actually saves like 1.7 seconds. And the reason it's so hyped is because it's a skip that was thought to be completely inconsistent up until like 2 weeks ago, maybe 1.5, when we started to actually find setups that more or less work. So
now it's only mostly inconsistent.
Hey, I got it first try yesterday, so it can't be that bad. That's my logic for it.
It's getting better. It's getting there. It's the next big trick. However, it's still rough. Now we see both people talking to Lem, selling everything. You know, Velmi Artrid, am I right?
Oh, we didn't speak about Chinese actually.
Oh, yeah.
Chinese is the fastest language in the game because good coding essentially. Aside from it having less letters, the language is just a straight up scroll at different speeds for some reason in this game. And Chinese scrolls by far the fastest. So when we have to actually sell stuff to Lem right there to get enough gear for the lantern, like we mentioned earlier, It saves around 20 seconds to play in Chinese, just on that small part.
Yeah. The Chinese versus English text scrolling speed is honestly like really, really big. It's not something that you like think about until you see it. Then once you play it, it is a very, very big difference. Ooh. Trinomi just giving that big guard a kiss. I cannot speak. Ooh. And Trinomi gets
Actually,
the
just
swag jump. I'm impressed.
freest 0.2 seconds of his life.
Oh my gosh, it's an impossible trick. Give me
It's
Pogax
gonna
any day.
hit them, to be honest. At this point, I have a hard time seeing Cow having a massive loss without a very bad Dan, essentially. I don't think
Yeah.
the runner is gonna have a very clean Umu, simply
No,
because
we
Umu
can
doesn't
hope.
behave well in races, in my experience.
No, Umu does not behave well at the best of times. Alright, and now we see both people basically at the same time buying a lantern, and this is fully required to get into C peaks, either this or dive, and this is the faster of the two options, so this is the one we get.
We have to get, well, we technically don't have to get into CPX, I guess. We could get Isma's tier, but
But
CPX is way
ooh,
faster than Isma's tier, so it's what we want to do. And out of the two options of getting into CPX, like Best said, this is way faster than getting dive. Got
ah,
with, oh, that was so clean, and then,
this is not the room that you want to mess up. This is
yeah,
by far the worst room, the worst singular room in the run, just because of how
I agree.
badly it can go. Those infected bench flies, I think are the name, they are terrible.
I think
They're
so,
just,
yeah.
oof, terrifying.
Essentially, even though the room is kinda consistent, one small mess up snowballs insanely quickly.
Yeah. Alright, Trinomi. Alright. He's facing the right way.
He's going for it.
It's a good setup. It's a good...
Oh
Ooh.
no, he doesn't dash!
Yeah, I needed to wait a tiny bit more on the jump off the wall. He would have been fine. Oh, he's 2 HP now. Ooh. This is sketchy.
He should be fine as long...
Oh, they're
He's
both at
mentally
2
good
HP
for
now.
1 pixel, actually, he found it.
Come on.
I know he may actually be in a tough spot then.
Yeah, I mean, they're both at 2 HP though, so...
I guess.
Hopefully he doesn't go for God Cycle. It's not worth it. Not at this point. Ooh.
Yeah, Cow doesn't
Ah.
go for God Cycle, and neither does Trinomi, to be honest. Both runners kinda have bad movement going up there, so
I
trying
don't
it
blame
would
them.
be very hard.
Going for that at 2 HP is really scary.
Yeah. Essentially, what we mean by God Cycle is that it's not actually a cycle, it's just that the laser shooting enemies are essentially a bit messed up, and the laser doesn't actually start where their hitbox ends. It starts like a couple pixels after, so you can kind of squeeze yourself through the gap to go through without taking damage.
Alright, looks like Trinomi and Kao are 14 seconds apart, which is really, really close. So... Ooh,
This will
Trinomi
be
gets
one
double dash.
to watch, in my opinion, because we're just gonna take a intended damage boost here, and then the cycle will just line up perfectly. You can just go through this room without stopping at all, pretty much.
Yeah. That damage boost hits us forwards the perfect amount to what we need to get that cycle. It's really, really nice how it lined up that way. Wow, this sync is really impressive. I'm so impressed. Alright,
That was
48 and 44 for Cal, so Trinomi made up a little bit of time on that, yeah. Imagine how much time he would have made up with Pogax.
he will be ahead by like 10 years.
Yeah, it saves like 9 years, right? Or is that Celeste?
Understand, yeah.
Not 100% sure anymore. Any door skip, or... Alright.
Anyway, we're heading into Monoma right now, which is the second Dreamer. And like Pest said earlier, Monoma is gated by Umu, which is by far the worst boss in this run. I think in anyone's opinion, really.
Yeah.
In order to actually get to Monoma, I think you're casually supposed to have Isma's tier. I don't think there's any other way to actually access Monoma, but they have
Either
very bad
Isma's
map coverage.
or Shade Cloak. And if you have Shade Cloak
Oh,
without Isma's casually, I'm impressed. Trinomi, why are you going for swag drop?
but
Oh.
essentially what we can do is just Crystal Dash off that wall, and then we skip the acid pool, which Isma's tier will normally allow us to trade them.
Yep. And you see two different ways to go through this room. One is a slightly faster but harder drop, which Trinomi did, and a slightly easier but slower drop that Cow did, so... We are so in the range of Umu being mean.
We really are. I don't know,
This-
Trinomi doesn't bench either. Cow tried to, but he messed up, so I don't think he's gonna go back for it.
Doubtfully, yeah. I mean, Cow's at 4 HP, it makes more sense. Trinomi is
Yeah,
at 3 HP, but
Trinomi's
he's
at
full
3.
soul, so he's fine.
I mean, I guess.
Oh, that's
But
close how you do
essentially,
that setup, Cow.
Umu is a
Okay, good.
cycle-based boss, basically, and the attacks Umu does are also random. And our setup, well, yeah, our equipment essentially allows us to get exactly enough damage to kill Umu in 2 cycles. Like it's the exact amount of damage. You can't really afford any mess-ups, which is kind of annoying with how much RNG Umu is, because aside from just the different attacks she can give you, she can also decide to give you an extra attack, which messes your setup essentially.
Alright, Trinomi's got the first set. That's really rough for Cow. I don't think he's going to be able to save that, no.
Yeah, Chaos has already lost the 2 cycle, he'll have to settle for 3.
Yeah, so this could be a lot of time save for Trinomi if he clutches it. Although
Yeah,
this
he
is a weird
managed to
spot.
get the Dream Mill here.
Ooh, okay, no, he can save this though. This is honestly good.
Oh, it's another attack. Okay.
Yeah, it's an extra, he can save it. He was in a bad spot
Chaos
before.
1 HP. We've kind of not talked about that, and he's dead. He did
That's
not bench.
not good.
That's really rough.
Yeah, that's really bad. And Trinomi 3 cycles. Ooh. Suddenly, Trinomi has a lead.
He really does.
That
Unless
sucks.
Trinomi dies, this lead is actually pretty big. It's like 2 minutes probably.
Yeah, there's a surprising amount of backtracking that goes into an Umu death. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
Trinomi survives, so
Umu is a
pretty
deceptively
comfortably
difficult boss.
in the lead right now.
Yeah, like that. It's a very difficult boss to become remotely consistent at, just because of how tight everything is and how easily things can go wrong. Like, very little about Umu is completely consistent. The amount that he dashes, the amount that he moves, what attacks he does, they're all super, super random. So it's not
But
unheard of to see deaths. And, you know, in PB attempts, you're used to playing aggressive because, I mean, you need it normally, but it's very difficult to play safe in Umu, so...
honestly, we've had quite a bit of film deaths in this tournament so far, I
I
think.
think we had more Umu deaths than Watcher's deaths, which was
I also
surprising.
think so, yeah.
Not normally what you would expect from just an outside point of view, so...
Yeah, Trinomi gets Monomon. We'll now exit Archives and head into arguably the hardest trick in the run,
Yeah.
which is PTA. The trick is hard by itself, but it's only made harder by the fact that it's an asset skip, like the one you saw us to actually get to Hot Canyon, the area we were in before to head to Kumu. And every time you fail it, you're gonna lose 1 HP in a split where there's mandatory damage tanks. So that's a lot of pressure on you to not miss it.
Yeah. For the most part in this run, if you take damage, you only lose time based on, oh, you got hit, you lose that amount of time. Normally, it's not super huge if you take damage, there's not HP dependent areas. But we have basically 3 optimal damage tanks that you would do in the upcoming areas. So if you miss like any of those, they're huge. So I mean, it's a very stressful area, and it's right at the end of the run. So, all right, I'm gonna switch audio to Trinomi once
Yeah, we should probably
Cow's
do that
done with this
Right
cycle.
here, you see him attempting the skip. He misses the first try. Like I said, this is a very hard skip. It's insanely precise, so it's not surprising.
Yeah.
That
And what you
seems
see.
an okay
Ooh,
setup,
nice.
and he makes it.
So you want to start the Crystal Dash on that tiny, tiny bit of wall just above the acid, so you can charge all the way over and still get the jump off once you actually get over. It's very, very difficult. It's not a pixel perfect trick. It is pixel precise. It is very, very difficult. So, a lot
Yesterday
of work
was
goes into practicing those.
okay. I assume Trinomi will try to take this. This arena is also kinda messed up, because you want your fireballs to double these enemies. They die with a double.
Mhm.
And if you don't double the first one, it can also snowball a lot, but Trinomi think, oh! He misses the intentional damage tank here. That hazard respawn is messed up, so you just respawn down there, skips a bit of backtracking, or going around rather.
Yeah.
But he gets the second try, which is definitely not optimal, because like we said, we really don't want to take damage in the split. Or
Yeah.
extra damage, I guess, but
Alright, we've
it's
seen
okay, all
deaths
things
in this
considered.
room, I'll be honest. If he can get through this room, he probably won't die, but okay, he's good. These enemies can be terrible in how they spawn, and if you get hit by one of them into spikes, there's an instant 2 damage, and you're probably gonna be dead then.
Yeah, you just kinda
So,
die.
yeah, that
Trinomi taking
is
safe. He
such a
heals.
terrible room.
So
You cannot change my mind.
it really is terrible.
Now we see Trinomi enter Deep Nest, which is honestly a pretty cool part of the run. Terrifying to actually play.
Fest really is wrong,
But
huh?
no, Deep Nest is so cool. It's just like hard.
How is it cool? You just die, dude.
But if you don't, then it looks cool.
But
Like
when
imagine
you
if you
ever
got the clean Hera, it'd be so swag. You'd have
it
so
doesn't
much
exist.
clout.
There's no such thing as clean Hera.
Dude, this guy called Comsov has a pretty nice Hera, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I guess.
Alright, so now we see Trinomi entering the area right before the last streamer, which I was talking about earlier. Hera is not gated by an actual boss. Instead, Hera is gated by something far worse, Beast Den. To put this into perspective, this is meant to be a very late game area. This should be, anyways, when you get here. And, ooh, Cow gets QJ first try. I'm gonna stop talking.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's a really hard trick. I'm impressed. But yeah, you're expected to go into Den with a lot more stuff than what we have right now. So we are ridiculously underleveled in an area full of spiders and spikes and just terror and just absolutely awfulness. And we have to go through it fast. And there's 2 optional damage tanks that speed up a ton of time, so you really need to go for them once, basically. That's all you have room for. There's so few areas for mistakes.
The area is especially bad because you'll see in a second that there's spiders on the walls. And the spiders are kind of really inconsistent. They can just switch directions whenever they feel like it, feels. And they also
Normally we
shoot
complain
really
about
close at
RNG
you.
enemies, and it's normally just like, oh, you know, they did a weird attack, but these are like RNG enemies. They can just move wherever. It's not RNG what attacks they do, it's just so RNG about everything.
And you really want to dodge them because like we
However, Trinomi is making it look easy. I'm impressed. That was a really clean den.
said.
And I need to stop saying that den's so hard. I've done this on like 2 races and I've just clutched it out and made it look free. Oh, I can't believe we didn't talk about the music that Trinomi has. So normally this is not the music that you have in Den, but if you hold right when you start the cutscene on that bench, then you can carry the music from the sitting down on the bench, which is the slightly just weird, kind of creepy-ish music. Instead of the super stressful music that you normally have in here, you get this weird kind of funny music instead.
Major glitch IMO.
Yeah, honestly. Alright, now Trinomi has completed everything he needs to finish the game. He's got all the Dreamers, so he's going to be running to the Hollow Knight, which is honestly not nearly as hard a fight, or not nearly as hard a section as anything else in the run.
Well,
but
not on this patch. It is an
no.
impossible
Oh my gosh.
boss in current patch.
Yeah.
If you've
Team
played the
Cherry
game on
definitely-
Switch or something, don't expect our Whole Knight to be nearly as fast as the one you played, essentially.
Yeah. If you played on current patch or Switch or Xbox or PS4, anything like that, your THK will be much worse than what we have now. Team Cherry retroactively goes back and just makes some bosses more difficult. They've done this with Trader Lord, and now they did it with Umu too, because current patch Umu is a sight. We don't talk about current patch Umu.
It's a trip.
There's a lot of damage knockback that isn't there on this patch, which is very weird to play around. And then they mega buffed THK. They like crazily increased move speed. One of his attacks now does double damage. He's a scary man on current patch. On 1.2.2.1, not that bad though. You can kind of just like look at him and just hit him a few times, and he's like, oh
It's
no,
kind
I'm
of a
staggered now.
pushover. Right here we see the final boss of the game. You just gain control that well and use a small dash. That's what's kinda new, to be honest, actually you found it.
Yeah, I think that's like a month-ish ago, but that just cancels out having a hard fall, like landing lag once you land, so it's I think like 0.2 or something. That was terrifying what Cow just did.
Yeah, Cow going hit there by that spike, like that is projectile, that's the word I'm looking for. He would have gotten knocked into the spikes and he would have just instantly died. It was kind of a really clutch dodge.
Yeah. If you get hit by a regular enemy into a hazard, with hazards being acid or spikes or like that, normally once you take damage you don't take damage for a while again, but that does not extend to that does not extend the same courtesy to hazard type of collisions. So that area is terrifying for that reason. Now we see Trinomi fighting the Hollow Knight. This is honestly kind of the boss that he made his name for. Like, Trinomi is the OG THK god. Can I commentator's curse this? This is all I want to know. How much power do I have now?
Way too much.
Alright, I don't have enough, I guess. I don't have enough power. That was one of the most swaggy things I've ever seen. Trinomi just carried THK to swag walk through. What just happened?
Same.
Alright. Alright, I'll hand over my title. Trinomi's still got it. Trinomi's still absolutely got it.
But yeah, THK is a really annoying boss because you see him just constantly doing this attack right here where he essentially parries or blocks you, and you just kinda either wait it out or hit it, both things lose a lot of time. You want as little of those as possible, you want as many as just any attack that really allows you to just get nail swings in and then fireballs, to be honest.
Yeah. THK is a boss that has 1250 total HP. It's just split into 3 phases, so you need to do 1250 total damage, so DPS is huge in this fight. Whoa, that was the shortest second phase I've ever seen Trinomi. What the heck? Normally that phase lasts about 20 to 25 seconds. Trinomi just cleared it in I think like 10. His first stage was really, really good, I guess. And wow, okay, Trinomi, he just put on a clinic. I'm impressed.
And that was an okay THK. Some mistakes, but overall it was really good. And we got the double parry, which was honestly one of the coolest things I've seen.
Yeah. It's a shame, but parries aren't useful in speedruns because they cause a huge amount of lag when they actually happen. So sadly, we don't use parries all that much, but they're really, really cool. That was a solid end of that race for Trinomi. I'm impressed. I'm going to switch the audio back to Cow, because he's going back to THK, finishing it up as well. That was super solid, though, from Trinomi. I'm impressed. The bathroom can't keep him down.
It's really
the bathroom makes him to finish us all. Oh my
Do you think he's playing from the shower?
Yeah, he actually might be. No, I think he's playing from the bathtub right now. He's got to get to like quarters or semis, and then he'll play from the bathtub.
This makes sense. He just has to work it little by little.
This is true. Trinomi, why did you stop the timer? God. Alright. I think it was like a 36-19 or something for Trinomi. It was a low 36. But yeah, we'll see Cow doing the same thing that Trinomi did, all about constant DPS on THK. This is one of the most fun bosses to fight in practice, just because of how... it's just fun. You can get in a very cool rhythm with the THK.
It's a fun fight when things go well. It's also kind of annoying when he has teleports, so...
Yeah, when he spams teleports and parries, like Cow is getting a lot of, this is not what you want. THK has this annoying habit of just chain parrying. Like
very good, very good.
Very solid fight. Oh, Cow didn't do the fireball one. I wonder if he knows about that.
Oh, as a side note, on THK, whenever he has his move, he has stabs himself, you deal literally 1 damage with anything you do. So that's why you see the runners just kind of whack him instead of actually using fireballs to do stuff.
Yeah. Alright, THK should be going into his scream in like 5 seconds. Oh, never mind, he got this. This is really good.
I mean,
this is...
yeah, this is honestly good if we may allow him to just kill him during the scream, as soon as he has the scream skip. The scream skip is the tag where you take 1 damage here. Oh.
Never mind. Scream skip is not this.
It is not real. But if he took the damage here like he was trying to set up, he will not have gotten stunned by the scream, so he will have been able to keep doing DPS.
Yep, and that was a really, really fast third set. Alright, that's not bad. With an Umu death, that's like 2 minutes of backtracking right there, so that'd be like a 36-ish. It's like a minute off TV. That's not bad. It's not bad at all for a race.
It was a solid race for Kyle aside from, I would say.
Yeah, it was crazy close up to Umu. That was probably the closest race for like half of it that we will see. I was impressed. It was pretty good. Alright, and there's Kyle with the 38-23. Nice, I like it. I like it. wonder if we're going to get interviews or anything.
Yeah, same. I'm
'Cause
trying to look into if we have to do something for that, but I am not good at this.
I mean, if no one wants to, then I don't. For some reason, I don't think Trinomi will. Just because, like, it would be text-based if anything, and that's.
I mean, Trinomi does have a mic, even if he doesn't use it often.
I have never heard Trinomi.
You haven't?
No, I
Trinomi,
wasn't
you
here.
have to get in here now.
I was not here when Trinomi existed. He was sucked into the bathroom before. He was
It's
lost
extremely
to us.
unfortunate.
He was lost to us, and by us I mean me. I just came into the community, and Trinomi was just up there, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, who is this man stuck in the bathroom forever?" And now he's finally. Oh, this is like what is it that caterpillars and butterflies do? They metamorphosis? That's a book.
Yes.
Is it metamorphosis?
Yeah, it is a book by Kafka too, but
Yeah,
the book is inspired on that.
this is true. Trinomi has metamorphosized out of the bathroom. And is he back into the top tier Hollow Knight runner that we all know and love?
What are you even saying, to be honest, bro?
Acrid, I had a lot of alcohol last night, and I'm still feeling it.
I love this.
Alright. It does not look like anyone... I don't know what's going on, I'll be honest.
I also don't, but Trinomi said in chat you never will, which I assume was a response to him saying that you will never listen to his voice. He apparently hates you, sorry, Pez.
This is unfortunate. It's acceptable. I will just have to bop him by like 2 minutes then.
I mean, he says this and he can actually do it, so...
I mean, I don't know about that one, Chief. What Summer Best says is possible, and what I can actually do. Very
Just
different
match it.
I'll just gold
as
everything.
Simple as that. Yeah.
Just play faster. Come on, guys. It's not that hard. Just PB every time.
Press
Just play
battles better, dude.
It's a good time.
It really is.
Alright, it does not look like... I'm gonna make the call, and it doesn't look like anything's going on. I don't see any chat in Discord or anything like that, so...
Yeah, I agree.
This was the last race for this round. Are we going to be going into the next round of winners and the first round of losers next week? Do you know? Or, is it just going to be losers round?
Logan has match scheduled already against Bronze Roll. I don't actually know when it is. I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
It appears that 7 p.m. EDT on Monday, so tomorrow at 7 p.m. EDT.
Yep. Looks like this will be the last race for us this week, but we will be starting in on our next round of races, starting the losers bracket and potentially the third set of the winners bracket. So that'll be fun to watch. That will be very, very fun to watch.
There should be some nice races.
Getting super, super close soon, so the races will be getting quite intense, probably.
I have faith in my boy Logan. I am
have
heavily
nothing but
biased on that race.
in my boy Logan. Alright, it doesn't look like there's anything else, so I'm just gonna say this is it. Thank you everybody for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to stay tuned. Starting tomorrow, I think at 7 p.m. Eckerd said, we will have another race going on, and Logan versus Problems. So that'll be great. Please tune in if you can. And on that note,
see you next time.
We are done.